Hey guys, welcome back to the all-new and exciting Caffeine and Octane Podcast, brought to you by Ride Lounge. Be sure to check out all the episodes at Caffeine and Octane Show on YouTube.
Correct.
And my name is Grant Van Brewer. I'm here with the founder of Caffeine and Octane, Bruce Piefke. Welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be here. What a day.
Yeah, so it's just so amazing. We look back a decade or more ago, just a little small show at Windward Parkway into what it is now, which is the largest monthly car gathering on the planet. I mean, just truly amazing what you've done over the years.
Month after month, too.
Yeah.
It's not once a year. It's every single month that we draw incredible crowds. And really, the original Caffeine Octane goes back 20 years this past month. And it was founded by a Delta Airlines pilot, a guy named Mark Richter, that just got together with some friends, just like most Cars and Coffee. And there are thousands of Cars and Coffee events all over the world.
Yeah.
And he called up some buddies. They met up at Panera Bread up there at the Avenues. And it grew organically because there was no social media, there was no Instagram to blow it up. And it just grew and grew and grew. Mark was smart enough to trademark the name Caffeine and Octane, which really sets us apart.
Yeah.
But it got moved out of Avenues because it got too big.
Yeah.
And then it moved around a couple other places, went to a high school. Eventually, when I discovered it was about 12 years ago, when it landed at Windward Parkway at an office park up there. A guy owned an office building that was a car guy.
Oh, so he was cool about it.
Yeah, he was cool about it. But it got too big and it overflowed into Home Depot, and Home Depot started getting upset when on a beautiful spring morning people couldn't get in there to buy their flowers, so we had to find a new home for it. And Mark sold it to Auto Trader. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, Auto Trader found me through a friend at the Georgia World Congress Center. They said, hey, you need to talk to this guy, Bruce Piefke. He knows how to put on events. I think he can really help you. So they hired me, and for 2 years, I put together a plan that they were going to blow out Caffeine Octane all across the country. But then they're a big corporation. They changed. They merged into Cox Automotive.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we set out with a new plan, which was for me to buy it. And I bought it from Cox Automotive, and I knew immediately it needed a bigger home if it was going to grow and be successful. And I was fortunate enough, I had a reputation of being able to put on events. So I talked to the folks at Perimeter Mall, and that's when we moved 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. So at that early point, I mean, that's when you really thought, hey, this might actually work.
Yeah. And it was funny because I had produced hundreds of events. I mean, I've been producing events for 30 years, so I'd never really done a car event. And I wasn't a true gearhead. I loved cars, like most of these people that are here today. They're not gearheads, they just love to look at cars.
Right.
And so I set out to find a new home. Perimeter Mall was great, but I had 1 month left at Windward Parkway. And my phone went off at 4:30 in the morning. It was like an Amber Alert sound. And I was like, golly, I don't think I set that alarm that early. And sure enough, I look at my phone, and it was a flash flood warning.
Oh, wow.
And it was 34 degrees and flash flood. I mean, as miserable a weather as you ever get in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, I'd say.
Cold rain. But, I laid there for a minute thinking, boy, it'd be nice to just roll over. But then I thought, God, it's my first month owning it. One guy shows up, they're going to rip me. So I drug myself out of bed, got in my truck, headed up 400. And I mean, windshield wipers couldn't even keep up with the rain.
Yeah.
But when I get off at Windward Parkway, I pull in, and there's at least 100 guys there.
That's amazing. The resilience of this show is something that has to be talked about, because up until recently, when we had this crazy weather come through, you had to reschedule a show, cancel a show, nothing. And it was all because, literally it was too dangerous to drive.
Right,
so I'd say I've been to many shows in sub-zero temperatures. I've been to many of these shows in just really the most awful conditions. But one thing remains true, and that's the spirit of the car guy.
Absolutely.
It's always there.
And it's rain or shine, and it's some of the most fun shows are when the weather is miserable, because it's kind of a badge of honor.
It is.
If
it
you
really
get
is.
out of bed when it's raining and it's cold,
you've earned it.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
You're a gearhead.
What was the early obstacle that nobody saw?
Yeah, the early obstacle was really finding a place that would be excited about having a car show in their parking lot, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of work that goes into it, and you know, car shows this big don't always have the best reputation, and that's where I knew where I had to step my game up to make sure I created this family environment, that it was safe, that it was fun, and that people behaved themselves.
Yeah.
And that very first event, when I pulled in those 100 guys, there was one guy there named Jeff Bowman, and he was head of the Prelude Club.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Honda Prelude Club.
How about that?
And what was so great about that happening for my first time was it totally changed my outlook on what the potential of Caffeine and Octane was.
Yeah.
Because every other event I had ever done, you know, you get clouds, you get thunderstorms, you get bad weather, it kills the event. And to see the passion that these people had, and they weren't there just because of the cars. They were there because their friends were there.
Yeah.
They were making new friends. It was the connectivity that I'd never seen at any event that I'd ever done.
Yeah.
And that's the moment that I knew I had something special.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there ever a time where you almost felt, man, I might have to shut this thing down?
Yeah, you know, anybody that's an entrepreneur that's owned their own business, you know, you have those dark days where you think, how am I going to work this out?
Yeah.
You know, what am I going to do? But, you know, I've always had such great support from the car community. Everybody wants to see us be successful,
Yeah.
and that really helps.
That's important.
And, you know, and I had some good sponsors that stepped up when I moved it to Perimeter Mall. You know, Mercedes and Butler Tire, you know, they stepped up to make sure that, you know, we could hire the police that we needed and what we needed to make it a great show.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly, to your point, there's no other show that I've ever been to with the kind of variety that Caffeine and Octane has. I mean, where on earth else could you see a DeLorean with a Ferrari swap, parked next to a Mini with a Honda VTEC engine, parked next to a Lamborghini Revuelto? I mean, there's just nothing like that. Was that intentional, or did it just kind of evolve that way?
Well, it really evolved that way because it was always a first come, first serve kind of a setup, you know, where if the Ferrari showed up and a VW Bug showed up next and he wanted to park next to him, to me, that was part of the magic.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what you're going to see. It's not the same setup. And, you know, the variety of cars is amazing, but it's unmatched by really the variety of people that show up.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think most car shows get wrong?
I think they get wrong, well, nothing against car guys, but, you know, it's a business to be able to run an event, you know, to how to organize it. And you've got to have the resources to, like I said, hire enough people. Like today, you know, we've got 26 employees here today.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys rely on just everybody behaving themselves and showing up and
Pitching in
and stuff like that. And it's just when you get a certain size, it doesn't work anymore.
Works until it doesn't.
Yeah. Right.
If you had to pick, are you more impressed by builds where just, let's say, this guy put in a ton of money into this build, or more along the lines of something that's more ingenuity based? I mean, what really speaks to you the most?
Yeah, what speaks to me really is, I think, the ingenuity.
Yeah.
It's the people and the story behind it.
Yeah.
And that was, again, what caught my attention was the cars are awesome, but the story behind the car.
Yeah.
You know, if this was Grandpa's pickup truck that sat out on the field for 20 years, you know, Grandpa passed away 10 years ago, and now Dad and his two kids are rebuilding it. You know, may take them 3 years to do it.
That's right.
But it's the passion that they put into it.
And then they're
love.
Showing up here.
Yeah, and then they bring it here. That's what's so great is so many times people roll in here and they say, I just finished my build.
That's awesome.
You know, so it premieres here at Caffeine and Octane. I've been thinking about Caffeine and Octane for 3 years, waiting to bring it this day.
Such a great personal milestone for people like that out there. I'm sure we've got a few of those out here in the crowd today.
No doubt.
When did you realize this wasn't just a car show, it was a brand?
Yeah, I realized it, you know, as that first impression when guys showed up when it was 34 degrees and pouring down rain, that totally changed my attitude of what this could be. And then the more I started doing more shows, and I spent a lot of time just talking to people, which that's what Caffeine Octane's really about.
Yeah.
It's about talking to people, talking to the car owners, understanding, their passion and the friendships they've made and how important it is, an important part of their lives. And I knew that I had something special.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually got the idea, about a year into being at Perimeter Mall. That's where I got the idea for the TV show.
Yeah.
And the TV show was really, at that point, Motor Trend, the TV was pretty hot back then, but it was all build shows. There was a lot of fake drama.
Oh, that's
and a lot of fake deadlines.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're never gonna get it done, and then woo, imagine we did it.
Surprise.
Surprise. Yeah. And a lot of times they were pushing the car out there. And that's when, and I realized what drew me to it, and what draws most people to it, are the stories, the people.
Absolutely.
And that's why we set out to and we had 7 seasons on NBC where we just told the stories, the stories of people.
And I appreciate you for allowing me to grace the TV show on a couple episodes there.
Absolutely.
Where we had a McLaren P1,
Yes.
we had an Aston Martin Rapide back when I was employed by Motor Cars of Atlanta. Wonderful time doing that. What's the one decision, I guess, that maybe had the biggest impact on the growth of the show? Because I remember back at Windward, and I look at it now, and it's a different show altogether.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, I think, believe it or not, Auto Trader, even though we're a digital company, they really didn't do much on social media. So I immediately knew that I had to ramp up Instagram and Facebook, and that really helped a lot, because we developed a following, not just in Atlanta, but all over the Southeast and all over the country, because car guys are everywhere, And so that really helped. And then honestly, doing the TV show and having that national, and then NBC actually licensed the TV show internationally. So we started seeing people literally traveling here from as far away as Australia.
That's unbelievable.
Because they'd seen the TV show.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Has Caffeine and Octane ever had to say no to a particular car? I know that's a wild question, but...
I mean, I've turned down a minivan or two along the way.
Okay.
They weren't really show cars.
Right.
They were just looking to park close to the show.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the problems at Windward, was they didn't have any organization of who got in and who didn't.
Yeah, and then of course you have spectators too, right?
Yeah, so you'd see a mom and her kids pull in next to a Ferrari and park thinking, well, this is where I park.
Yeah.
So we kind of got organized on that.
And what's been maybe one of the most chaotic moments that's ever happened behind the scenes, if you can share?
Golly. I guess chaotic, we hate the wind.
Yeah.
We're out here in the middle of a big parking lot. We've got banners up everywhere. We've got signage. We've got barricades. We've got flags. And, my biggest fear is something blowing over onto someone's car. So it's a mad scramble when the wind picks up.
And what's the one misconception maybe people have about running a show this size, this scale?
Yeah.
This is not a small show, guys.
Right. No, it's gotten. I mean, it continues to grow. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
There's probably hundreds of people that are here for the first time today.
Yeah.
And it'll continue to grow. Scaling is, again, being an event guy, that's what I was kind of prepared for. I worry about it getting too big at times, and not being manageable. But we've got a great partner here at Town Center Cobb, and they've allowed us to kind of keep growing the show.
Yeah. The other question here, what does this show mean to you personally now?
Gosh.
I mean, after all these years.
No event has ever really become my identity, of all the years that I've done it, but Caffeine and Octane has really become my identity.
Yeah.
People know me as that guy.
Yeah. Right.
Which is really funny, because, people have known me my whole life, know that I love cars, but I wasn't really a gearhead.
Right.
I was more of an event guy. And so that was the magic that enabled me to, kind of grow my love of cars with my passion for producing events.
Yeah.
And I love putting smiles on people's faces. I love showing a good time. I love throwing a good party.
Yeah. And speaking of cars, what's maybe the rarest car that's ever shown up to Caffeine and Octane? If you can.
That's a
I know
tough
there's many.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some rare ones that have shown up. We have had a LaFerrari.
Okay.
Obviously,
Yeah.
that blew people away when it rolled in. And
Absolutely.
I've been hunting one for a long time when it finally showed up. When Ryan showed up with his Bugatti.
Oh yeah.
And so there's been those special moments, but again, it's the variety of people.
Yeah.
We talk about the variety of cars, but look out there. I mean, there's newborns,
Yeah.
there's 2-year-olds, there's 10-year-olds, there's moms, there's dads, there's a couple of kids in a wagon rolling by right now. And it's every race, creed, color, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, cars more than anything I've ever done. Because when you produce events, you're really typically producing towards a niche, maybe for guys or women or young women or old men or whatever. But Caffeine Octane, it's everybody.
It's everybody, yeah. I mean, like you said, race aside, politics aside,
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that cars drive us,
No
I mean,
doubt
it's just
about
an
it.
amazing way
No
to...
doubt about it. And I always say one of my most proud, the thing that makes me the most proud is to see people that I feel like if they were sitting next to each other on an airplane, they
Yeah.
wouldn't speak to each other.
Right.
But when you come to Caffeine and Octane,
We're talking.
You're talking. You're making a new friend, whether he's 50 years older than you or 50 years younger.
Yeah.
Cars is a very common language.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got some interesting stuff coming up here in the future. What are we showcasing at this particular show today? Any
This
highlights?
show, so we try and feature different things every show. Now it's open to everybody, and every kind of car you can imagine is here. But this month we were BMW M Series cars. We saved a bunch of space for them. Also cars of the 80s, which is a lot of fun. I walked through there earlier, and you forget.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of them are extinct.
And they're on a resurgence right now with collectors and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And like last month we did the 90s. This month we did the 80s. We've also got about 25 Vipers here today that we
that's
saved
exciting.
space for. So again, I love the variety. That's what really gets me going. So anything that I can do to keep Caffeine and Octane, having the best variety of cars, that's my goal.
Absolutely. Any future shows coming up that you maybe want to tell the guests?
Sure. Well, we've got, of course, Caffeine Octane always the very first Sunday of the month, except next month, of course, we're skipping Easter, so we're going to be on April 12th. But April 19th in Sandy Springs, it's an invitational only event. So I'm trying to procure out of all these years and all the car guys I've met, I'm trying to procure the best variety, the best cars, the best stories for 100 cars.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to do that in Sandy Springs.
Oh, that'll be
City
exciting.
Center. That'll be a fun event.
A lot of classics, a lot of exotics.
Yeah, exactly.
Always a good time.
And growth for Caffeine Octane really is probably to do one-off events in Nashville and Charlotte. We do have a Caffeine Octane in Jacksonville.
Yep.
But I'd love to do one in Miami. I'd love to do one in Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's been to all those places, and I can attest there's a healthy
there's plenty of
car
guys,
car gals out there in those areas. So
no doubt.
Well, very good. Anything you want to plug before we depart here? Any merchandise? Tell people where to go.
Caffeine Octane, of course, part of its popularity is it's free to attend and it's free to exhibit.
Yeah.
So we survive off of the support of sponsors.
Yeah.
And we've got great sponsors. That was, the biggest challenge is convincing people to get up on Sunday morning and work, right? Not just walk around and look at the cars.
Yeah.
But we've got a great sponsor support. And then the Caffeine Octane merchandise. We sell a lot of T-shirts, a lot of coffee cups.
Yeah, the new gear looks amazing.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And caffeineoctane.com is where you can find all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, thanks for joining us here. Obviously, who better than you to be the first guest, and just really appreciate all you do, and I'm sure everybody can attest to that here at the show.
And I just want to say, Grant, I'm so thrilled to have you as the host of the Caffeine Octane podcast.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're the perfect guy. I've known you since about the day I took over, and I know you've got the passion.
Thank you.
And I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy talking with you.
I really appreciate it, Bruce. It's all for the community. It's all for the culture. I do it for the love of this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
It's obvious.
I remember when I was a little boy, I was 3 years old, had a little Corvette Power Wheels, and like that was the best, worst present my parents could have ever gotten me back then, because it just transferred to everything else in my life. So,
and that's why when building the brand, I want everything to reflect that spirit.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit that you have, and the spirit that this podcast is going to have.
I really appreciate it.
Seek it out.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Excellent.